Hello Year 2, how are you? And welcome to today's spelling lesson. Now today we are going to be looking at adding some suffixes, the suffixes ing, ed, est and y, to words which end in an e, and words that not only end in an e, but they have a consonant before the e. Now remember, a consonant is a letter that is not a vowel. Now our vowels are a, e, I, O and U. So a consonant is any letter that is not those. Okay, now we have looked at adding some of these suffixes to words ending in E before. I know we've looked at ing, we've looked at to create comparative adjectives, and we've looked at est to create superlative adjectives, but we haven't looked at adding ed and y suffixes to the end of words ending in an E with a consonant before it. So before we do that, it is your spelling test. So could you now get a piece of paper ready for your spellings? Okay, now, normally I do them in the right order, but today I'm going to mix them up to test you even more, okay? So how it's going to work is I'm going to just keep saying the spellings. So if you'd like to pause after each spelling, and then when you've written your spelling, unpause the video, play the video again, and you'll hear your next spelling. Okay, so number 1 is drying. My mum is drying the clothes outside. Drying. My mum is drying the clothes outside. Okay, number 2, taxiing. My dad is always taxiing my brother around. Taxiing. My dad is always taxiing my brother around. Okay, number 3, copying. I hope she isn't copying my work. I hope she isn't copying my work. Copying. Okay, number 4, crying. Why is the baby crying? Crying. Why is the baby crying? Number 5, marrying. The man and woman are marrying each other. Marrying. The man and woman are marrying each other. Number 6, replying. Why isn't she replying to my message? Replying. Why isn't she replying to my message? Number 7, skiing. I love to go skiing. Skiing. I love to go skiing. Number 8, flying. The bird is flying below the clouds. Flying. The bird is flying below the clouds. Number 9, carrying. I am carrying my bags. Carrying. I am carrying my bags. Number 10, trying. I am trying to concentrate. Trying. I am trying to concentrate. Okay, Year 2. So that is the end of your spelling test for today. So please could you pause the video and find a pen to mark your work in. Okay, so let's go through them. One was drying, okay? Drying. Now remember, when we add ing to the end of a word ending in a y, we do not need to change the y to an I like with other suffixes. Number 2 was taxiing. Okay, so taxi already ended in an I, and then we've added the suffix ing. Number 3, we had copying. So again, we haven't changed the y to an I before adding the suffix ing. So if you got these right, tick them. If not, then write the correct spelling next to it. Number 4 was crying. Okay, again, we haven't changed the y to an I. Number 5 was marrying. Number 6 was replying. So again, with the last 2, we haven't changed the y to an I before adding the suffix ing. Then number 7 was skiing. So ski already ends in an I, so we've added the suffix ing. Number 8, flying. Okay, so we haven't changed the y to an I again. Number 9, carrying. The same rule applies. And number 10, trying. Okay, brilliant, year 2. Well, if you could send me a picture of how you got on in your spelling test when you send your work in, that would be absolutely fantastic. So let's learn about adding the suffixes that we spoke about earlier to words ending in an E with a consonant before them. Okay, so now a root word, or a base word as we've been calling it, is the basic form of a word before any parts are changed by adding suffixes. Okay, so we've got copy, marry, baby, happy, and cry. Okay, so we've got 3 verbs. We've got copy, marry, and cry. And we've got 1 noun, baby, and then 1 adjective, happy. Now, we have seen how some root words can be changed by adding different suffixes, and we saw that in our spellings that we've just done. So let's have a look at them again. So we had copy goes to copier. Okay, now when we add the suffix er, as we know, to create nouns, we have to replace the Y with an I before adding the suffix er. So there, the Y changes to an I. So the root word has changed. Then marry, going to marrying. Now this time, it hasn't changed, has it? Like we've just found out in our spellings, because when you add the suffix ing, you don't change the root word if it ends in a Y. You just add the suffix ing. Now we have baby to babies. Okay, so this is adding the suffix es to make the plural. But again, the noun baby, the Y at the end, has changed to an I before adding this suffix to make babies. Then we have happy. Okay, happy ends in a Y as well. It's an adjective, and we're changing it to a superlative adjective by adding the suffix est. And as we know, if an adjective ends in a Y, when we're changing it to a superlative adjective, the Y has to change to an I. Then finally, we have cry, and we're changing it to cries. Okay, so again, we've added the suffix es, and we have changed the Y to an I. Okay, so we have seen how some root words are changed when adding these suffixes, but let's see how the root word is changed when the word ends in an E with a consonant before it. So can you spot the root word ending in an E with a consonant before it in these different sentences? So let's have a look at the first one. Friends are nice to each other. Friends are nice to each other. Where's the root word that ends in an E with a consonant before it? Wow, can you see it here? Nice. It ends in an E, doesn't it? And look, it has a C before it. And C is not a vowel because it's not A, E, I, O, or U. So therefore, it is one of our consonants. So there you go. There's our root word in that sentence. Then the second sentence, when my dad cleans his motorbike, he rubs it to get it to shine. Now, I know motorbike ends in an E. That's not the word I'm looking at here. I am looking at the word shine. Okay, shine ends in an E, and it has a consonant before it, an N. So there you go. There's my root word that I'm going to need in that sentence. Could you pause the video and see if you can find the root words ending in an E with a consonant before them in the other 2 sentences? Okay, yeah, too. So let's have a look. The ghost train makes my sister scream, but it doesn't scare me. Can you see the root word there, ending in an E with a consonant before it? Yes, I can too. Can you see? Scare, that's our root word there because it ends in an E and it has the consonant R before it. Then the last one. At the weekends, we put on our walking boots and go for a hike. Do you know what a hike is? It's a type of walk. Okay, so hike ends in an E, doesn't it? And it has the consonant K before it. So there we go. There are all our root words. I wonder how we're going to change these using the different suffixes. Well, here we can change words by removing the E. Okay, so adding these different suffixes, ed, ing, est, and y, we have to remove the E, as you know from our work with superlative and comparative adjectives, as well as adding the suffix ing. We know that we have to remove the E. So let's have a look how we can change the root word hike. Okay, so we start with hike. Then what do we need to do? Well, it says that we need to remove the E. So let's remove the E from the word hike. Oh, there we go. So we've got hike now without the E. Now that we've removed the E, we can add the suffix that we need on. So let's find out how they have added the suffix. Oh, so they have put hiked. So we've got hike in the past tense by adding the suffix ed. And what we've done is taken off the E first, and then we've added the suffix ed to make hiked. So remove the E before adding the ed. Okay, let's look at another one. Now, we've got the word hike again. So we start with the word hike. What did we do next? Well, we took off the E. And then after that, what did we do here too? After we take off the E, yes, we have to add the suffix, don't we? So I wonder if it's going to be ed, ing, est, or y. Let's find out. Oh, we've added the suffix ing to make a present progressive sentence. He is hiking. Okay, so we have again taken off the E and then added the suffix. So remove the E before adding the ing. Now, what I would like you to do is have a go at changing these words. So in some of them, you've got the root word and you need to change them to the word with the suffix. And in some cases, you've got the word with the suffix and you need to give me what the root word is. So with the first one, I would like you to pause the video and try and add the suffix to this word. Okay, year two, so let's go through it together. Well, remember, when we have the root word, when we add the suffix if it ends in an E, we have to remove the E before adding the suffix. So therefore, nice changes to nicer, because otherwise we'd have two E's, wouldn't we? Okay, now what about the word shining? So we've got the word with the suffix here. Could you pause the video now and have a go at creating the root word for shining? Okay, so if we're doing it the other way around, we'd have to remove the suffix. So we're going to get rid of the ing, and then we need to add our E back, don't we? So what word is our root word for this? Yes, you're right, it's shine. Well done. And then finally, we've got scare, and I would like to add the suffix ing to this. So again, pause the video and see if you can add the suffix ing to scare. Okay, so what do we need to do first, year two? Yes, you're right, we have to take off the E, remove the E, and then we add the suffix ing to make scaring. The monster is scaring me, okay? But look, we've got no E after we've added ing because we've removed it before we added the suffix ing. Okay, so here are your spellings for next week, for next Thursday. You've got hiking, hiked, hiker, nicer, nicest, shiny, being, shining, scary, and scaring. So with all of these, they have had the E removed off the root word before adding the suffix. So as we looked, hike changed to hiking and hiked and hiker, nice changed to nicer and nicest, shine changed to shiny and shining, and scare changed to scary and scaring. Okay, but we've got being here. Now, being is the only one out of these where you do not remove the E because this is only a two-letter word. So we keep the E for be before adding the suffix ing. Okay, so again, you have got your spellings like this. So what you do is you read them like I have done to you then. So let me read them again for you. Hiking, hiked, hiker, nicer, nicest, shiny, being, shining, scary, and scaring. Okay, so you either read them yourselves or get someone else to read them to you. Then hike, and then try and spell the first one. So what was the first one? Hiking. So I'm going to have a go at hiking. Oh, what have I done wrong here? Oh, yes, I forgot to remove the E. But don't worry, I'm going to look back at my spelling, and then I'm going to write next to it in another colour the correct spelling. And then after a few days, I'll have another go. And after a few more days, I'll have another go until I can get them all correct. Now, you have this on your worksheet, Year 2 Spelling, 4th of February resource, as well as this question. Can you use some of these words in a sentence? So I've used one as an example. My mum is the nicest person I know. Okay, so try and write all of your spellings in a sentence, because the more you practice writing them, the better you will get at them. Okay, well, have a lovely rest of your day, Year 2. And remember, your spelling test is at the beginning of our next spelling lesson on Thursday. Bye.